Okay, boys and girls, let's move on to lesson 2. Lesson 2, we're talking about parts of a plant. And it says, I can explain how plants fulfill their needs. I can tell how animals can help plants. Okay? Let's look over on the next page where it says, question. How do you think plants get the water and nutrients they need to survive? That is your question. Think about it for just a minute. How do you think plants can get the water and the nutrients that they need to survive? All right, let's go ahead and read this story or listen to this story, Plant Life. And it should answer those questions about how they get their water and nutrients. Plants are just like other living things. They have needs and they must meet their needs in order to live and grow. We know that plants need water, sunlight, and soil. Plants have a few other needs as well. Let's figure out how plants meet some of their needs. Here's your first vocabulary word for this part is photosynthesis. The process of turning energy and water into sugar and oxygen. In order to produce sugar, plants need to perform a process called photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, plants use water and the energy from the sun to produce sugar and oxygen. The sugar is food for the plant. The oxygen is released into the atmosphere. During photosynthesis, chlorophyll in the plant's leaves absorb the sunlight. Now let's stop right here and talk about what does chlorophyll mean. Chlorophyll is the green matter that absorbs energy from the sunlight, and the chlorophyll is located inside the leaf. The sunlight provides energy. Meanwhile, the plant's roots are bringing water and nutrients from the soil up into the plant. Then the energy and water are used in photosynthesis. Now, I think that probably just answered our question, didn't it? How do plants get water and nutrients that they need? Well, it just told us, didn't it? Right here. The plant's roots are bringing water and nutrients from the soil up into the plant. Okay? So that shows us right there how tells us right there how the plant gets what it needs from the soil, the water and the nutrients from the soil. It comes in through the roots. Plants also need to produce seeds so that more plants can be planted and grow. Plants produce seeds after they have been pollinated. In order to be pollinated, a plant needs the pollen from another plant. Now, I think we all know what pollen is, but let's talk about the definition. Pollen is a powdery substance found in plants that allow them to produce seeds. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about pollen in our next lessons. But it is that powdery yellow stuff that makes us all sneeze, and for some of us it really makes us almost feel sick, okay? And it happens in the spring. But a plant has to be pollinated. That means it needs the pollen from another plant in order for it to produce seeds for other plants to grow. Insects like bees and butterflies fly from flower to flower drinking nectar. Each time they land on a flower, a little pollen from that flower gets stuck to the insect. When they land on the next flower, they leave some of the pollen on it. This process is called pollination, and it allows the plants to produce seeds. So again, pollination is the process of pollen being transferred from plant to plant in order for the other plants to produce seeds. And butterflies and bees are the ones that transfer this pollen because they go up and they drink the nectar out of the flower and they get it on their bodies, and then they go to the next flower, and it drops off of them to the next flower. So that's how pollen gets from one flower to another. I hope that you have enjoyed learning about plants and how they fulfill their needs. Their life is much different than other living things because they have to rely on nature more in order to survive. Next time you see a plant, think about how it is meeting its needs. Bye. Alright, so here are the vocabulary words we just talked about. Photosynthesis, which is the process of turning energy in water into sugar and oxygen. Chlorophyll is the green matter that absorbs energy from sunlight. Pollen, the powdery substance found in plants that allow them to produce seeds. Pollination is the process of pollen being transferred from plant to plant in order for the plant to produce seeds. Okay, so we just talked about those things. And we answered our question about how does the plant get water and nutrients they need to survive, and that is from the root. The root is down in the soil, and it pulls up the nutrients and the water from the soil in order for the plant to survive. Okay, now, here's an activity, okay? You're going to need a sheet of notebook paper to do this activity. You can use this example here to help you with that, okay? We're going to make a KWL chart. Now, I know that we've all done KWL charts before, so we know how to do them. But what you're going to do is you're going to fold a piece of notebook paper in half, and you're going to draw lines to give it 3 sections. So you're going to draw 2 lines on the paper. That way it'll give us 3 sections. The first section is going to be K, what I already know about plants. The W is going to be what I want to know about plants. And the L will be what I want to learn about plants, okay? So we already talked a few things about plants and a few things we already know about plants. So you should have some stuff there that you should put, that you can put there under your K. Here, the W, what are some other things you'd like to know about plants? And here, what are some things that you want to learn about plants, okay? So once you've done your KWL chart, then you can get another sheet of paper, excuse me, and you're going to write a sentence with each one of your vocabulary words that are over here. Again, I'm going to make it, enlarge it, so that you can see the vocabulary words, and then pause the video so that you can write these words and definitions down. Okay. If you have any questions about your vocabulary or your KWL chart, just send me a message and I will do the very best I can to help you with that, okay? All right, parts of a plant. Okay. We've talked a little bit about some of the parts of the plant. We've definitely talked about the roots and how the roots bring up the nutrients from the soil and the water from the soil to help the plant live. Let's look at this brain pop quickly. And it will tell us a little bit more about the parts of a plant.
What are you doing? But that's not the right way. The roots go in the soil, not the flowers and the leaves. You know, the roots. They're the part of the plant that, what do roots do anyway? Look, that tree has really big roots. Well, the roots are the part that grow down into the soil, but I'm not exactly sure what they do. Wow, without roots, this tree would have been blown away. They do a good job of holding a plant into the dirt. plants need water to grow. And water goes down into the soil. I bet the roots take in water from the soil. And soil is full of all kinds of stuff. I bet it's really nutritious for the plant. The roots must absorb the nutrients and send them up the stem. So, what does the stem do? I bet water and nutrients go through the stem to reach the rest of the plant. I know it's a trunk, but it's also the stem. Stems can come in all different sizes, but they both help support the plant. And the stem helps the plant reach sunlight. What do leaves do? I know, it looks sick. The leaves are falling off. You're right. That plant looks a lot healthier. Look how big and green the leaves are. It must get a lot of sunlight and fresh air. Leaves need to take in sunlight and air to make food for the plant. So then the plant can grow up to be strong and healthy. But these plants don't have flowers like the ones in our garden. What do flowers do? I know that flowers are important parts of some plants. Flowers make a sticky powder called pollen, which helps them make new plants. Look, there's a seed at the end of this petal. I guess flowers help the plant make seeds and fruit. But what do seeds and fruit do? There are so many seeds in this watermelon. Seeds are important because they can grow into new plants. Well, since seeds are inside the fruit, I bet the fruit protects the seeds. And fruit is really tasty. When animals eat fruit, the seeds pass through them and end up in a different place. We should go plant these seeds and grow new plants. Then we can have all the watermelon we want. You swallowed a seed? Don't worry, a watermelon plant isn't going to grow inside you. That's not how it works.
Okay. Alright, so that tells us the different parts of a plant, and here they are. You have the stem, which is the long green thing in the middle, supports the leaf, and carries water and minerals through the parts of the plant. So the minerals and the water come up through the roots, and the stem carries it to the different parts of the plant, okay? The flower. The flower makes seeds and continues the life cycle. So anytime the flower makes seeds and then it is transported or dispersed by either wind or other animals or water or people, okay, those seeds make new plants. So that's how their life cycle keeps going. The leaves absorb sunlight and carbon dioxide to make food for the plant. And then again, the roots anchor the plant and absorb water and minerals from the soil. Okay, so these are the four parts of a plant. Okay, now we're going to watch a video. It's called Parts of a Lily, and in this video, there is a teacher who is dissecting a lily so that you can actually see the parts of the inside of the, not of this part necessarily, but the top of the flower, and it shows you the different sections of the flower and how it makes seeds.
Hello, I'm David Pippen with Agricultural Science. Today we're going to look at parts of the flower using real flowers instead of just using an image from the textbook. And this is a great lesson that you can do with your students. Get the lesson plan, just check on our website. Lilies, you can pick those up at your local florist or grocery store that sells flowers, garden center, or if you're growing flowers in your school garden, that would be great to go outside with your students, cut your own flowers, and then bring them inside to investigate the flower parts. Remove the lily from the main stem. I recommend putting them on a paper plate or some type of surface to actually cut. I'm going to use a sharp knife for our demonstration purposes, but with the students, I recommend using a plastic knife so they don't cut their fingers, but it will still cut through the plant material because it's very soft. You should cut through the lily petal very gently. And just sort of peel that back, and you can break it off. You can see where we cut there. Get that open. What we want to do is get to the inside of the flower so we can see those parts down inside. So we've removed the petal, and we'll spread these other petals apart a little bit so you can see down in there. And after you've removed the petal, we want to go in and we want to take one of the stamens out. And the stamens are these little things here in the center that are holding the pollen. So I'm going to take my knife, go in there, and lift that center one out. I'm going to pull that right out, like so. So the stamen actually has the anther and the filament attached to it, and that's how they're attached down at the bottom. Now that that is removed, I can see down in there, and I can see the entire pistil, which includes the stigma, the style, and the ovary there at the bottom. So I'm going to spread my petals apart, take my knife in there, and gently cut into the pistil, splitting the ovary at the bottom, and pull the pistil down. It may work well if you're working with a partner to have them help hold the parts down. And just take your knife and run it right down that pistil. So you're cutting into the stigma and the style and then into the ovary. Just what we want to do is get inside there so you can see those ovules inside the ovary. So often in textbook images, that's what we see, is a flower that's split open like that, and all the parts are labeled. But by having an actual flower there, we're able to see all that. And I recommend using some type of hand lens, magnifying glass, so you can look up very closely. With our flower cut open, now you can see all of the flower parts. So let's just review those. We have the petals, which are the orange parts on the outside. We have the stamen, which all of these are individual stamens. And this is the anther and the filament that makes up the stamen. Then we have the pistil, which runs down the center of the flower, that includes the stigma at the top, the style, and then the ovary at the bottom, which includes the ovule. And these all together make up the part of the flower. After you have your flower cut open, investigated with your magnifying glass, I recommend that students make some sketches of what they see using the magnifying glass, and then using some crayons or colored pencils or markers to make their diagram of their individual observations. And then once your students have drawn their actual picture of the flower as they've seen it from their dissection, then have them break the flower apart and compare the flower parts with their drawing. Breaking the flower parts off and then actually laying them on their drawing, like putting the petal with the petal, just sort of matching things up. Putting the stamens with the stamens, like so, and then coming back with the pistil and laying that in there as well, showing all those parts from the flower with their drawing, like so. You can take the entire flower apart and lay all of those individual parts in there. We just laid simply one petal, one stamen, and so forth. For more information about this lesson and other garden lessons, please check our website.
Okay, now.
Welcome to today's dissection.
Okay. And what I want to do is I want to
Hello, I'm
keep
David
this
Pittman with Agriculture.
right here.
So often in textbook,
For just a minute, because I want you to be able to see, in just a few minutes, I want you to be able to see what the parts of this, because he told you that it was the pistil and the ovaries and the stamen, but we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. So I'm going to leave that picture right there. Hopefully it'll stay there. All right, so that was just a neat little experiment that he did in it, actually dissecting or cutting the plant, the flower open so that you can see the inside parts of that plant. Let's look at this quickly, and then we're going to come back, and all this will start to come together in just a little bit of how all these pieces and parts of the flower are important for its survival. Okay. All about plants, all right? Let's look and see here. Okay, so here we've got, it says put the name of each part and its job inside the boxes. Oops. Jeez. Okay, all right, so the blue is the part of the plant and the green is what it does. So the top part of the plant would be the flower, okay? So you're going to take it and put it right here, hopefully. Hang on. Let's do something different. Let's try this again. Let's see if it'll open better this way. Just thinking about it. Okay, let's try it now. All right, so again, parts of the flower are parts of the plant, and you're going to put the word here and then the definition beside it. So let's go ahead and put the words or the parts of the plants. We have the flower, and then we said this was the stem, and then the leaf, and finally the roots. Okay, all right, and then we're going to match the definition to go with each word. So the flower holds up a plant, is that right? No. Takes in water from the soil. No. Makes food. No. Makes seeds. Yes. So the flower is the part that makes seeds. Remember we said that the seeds are grow in the center of the flower and then is transferred, and it has to have pollen and pollination has to happen in order for the flower to make seeds. All right, the stem holds up the plant. Yes, it does. And it not only holds up the plant, but it also transports the nutrients and the water from the soil to the different parts of the plant. The leaf makes food. We talked about that with chlorophyll, and it has to go through photosynthesis, which we'll talk a lot about in just a minute, okay? And then finally the roots take in water from the soil, okay? So those are 4 parts of the plant and what each one of them do. All right, now, it says drag the red X on top of the item that a plant does not need, okay? So the easiest way to do this is to look at, first of all, what the plant does not need. The obvious things that plants do not need. Do plants need dishes? No, they don't. So we're going to put an X there. Does a plant need a printer? No, no printers needed. Does the plant need a car? No, does not need a car. Does the plant need a bed? No. Does the plant need a teddy bear? Absolutely not. Okay. Does the plant need soil? Yes, it does. Does the plant need sun? Yes. Does a plant need water? Absolutely. And does a plant need air? Yes, it does. So those are the things that a plant definitely needs. These other things they do not need. Okay? All right. The life cycle of a plant. Okay? Now remember, we start off with the seed. Okay? The seed that goes down into the ground. So that is going to be the first part. And here it's already started growing a little bit. So you've got the seed, and it forms the roots which go down into the ground. And then it starts to gently pop up out of the ground just a little bit. And then just a little bit more. And then it finally starts growing up into an adult plant, which will then make seeds, and another plant will grow from that. Okay, we're not going to do that right now. We're not going to do that right now. Okay. Alright, so for right now, that's all we're going to do. We'll come back to that in just a minute, okay? So, parts of the plant: the stem, the roots, the flower, and the leaves. Now, your assignment, your activity for today. You are going to draw a flower like this one on a piece of paper. Now, it does not have to be exactly like this one, but I know you are all wonderful artists, and I know that you can draw a picture of a flower so that you have the middle section and you also have the petals on the outside, the stem, the leaves, and the roots, okay? And then you are going to label each part of that flower in the boxes, okay? So again, I'm going to make it, enlarge it so that you can see it. I want you to pause the video so that you can look at this for just a second. And go ahead and draw out your picture, look at your words that you need to use, and then go ahead and complete this activity. When you're finished, unpause it and we'll continue. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, that is all for lesson 2. That was a lot for lesson 2. Now the next lesson that we're going to do is photosynthesis, and then we're going to go into pollination before we finish up with these. So if you have any questions, again, just let me know, and I will do my very best to give you some help. Thanks.